Man, I feel like a baby deer. It's been too long since I've skateboarded. Yeah, I'm a bit rusty. I should probably stay off the ramps until I get rid of my winter legs. Oh, yeah. This concrete's too smooth for me. I'm used to skating on terrible concrete. Good, I haven't lost the basics. Pretty deep in the weeds now, boys. Oh, look at that deer. Can you guys see him? He's like, what are you doing? I know. I'm wondering the same thing. I'm just out enjoying the nature too. Yeah, this spot does not disappoint. Good lighting, nice and quiet. We've got the telly now. 30 bucks off Marketplace. Pick that up. I'm not one to do anything on a cell phone. I like running the laptop through the screen, like on an HDMI cord. It was listed as a 22 inch, ended up being a 24. It's probably about max size. You want to go for a space like this. It can swivel, you know, so that you can watch it from the back here if I have the doors open. If the passenger seat swiveled around, I can watch it like that. And then of course sitting on the couch. But that'll be mostly for YouTube and, you know, whatever else, Super Nintendo. Oh yeah, so that goes to show how important your sink is. The sink is on storage duty right now. It's got my battery monitor that I haven't mounted. Super Nintendo controller storage. Not a deal breaker. A sink, not a deal breaker. Moving along, the counter. I don't think I've talked about the counter yet. It's been done for a while, but I was actually going to try and surprise you guys and go with something fancy. I was going to go with a nice live edge slab, you know, big old honking piece of heavy, you know, something fancy. I kept my eye out, I shopped around. Nothing came up. I was waiting for, you know, like a deal on something on Marketplace. I ended up going with the doors that I got for free with these handles. It's just literally the doors that I covered in the Van Life Plus, or if you've been around a long time, the Jeb Into the Mystery 13 counter cover. And while we're on the topic, I did go with Uncle Chromie's wall coverings here. Yeah, it's a good idea. It looks good, man. I don't have an eye for style like that stuff, and you can see that. Look at it, for stuff that I already had for free and 2x4s out of the dumpster. I don't know, man. That looks pretty good. 70 bucks for a sheet of this stuff. Used it for the slider doors here. These slider doors, that was a commenter that gave me that idea. Very good idea. I was thinking drawers or cabinets. No. Sliding doors is definitely the optimal thing for that area there. I'd move the camera to show you. I'll show you at the end, a little bit closer. It's not completely done yet. Most stuff isn't, as you can tell. So I use that paneling on my slider doors, and then in the inserts of the rear doors here. Oh, that's another thing. The diesel heater tank is now in behind here in this rear door. I feel better with it being in the door there, because if it ends up leaking, it'll end up going down through the little drain holes that are in the door, and that actually will leak to the exterior onto the rear bumper instead of into the inside of the van onto my subfloor. Still have to make access here so I can actually fill it up. But it's a fold-up table on the back door there. I'll put you outside and maybe show you that. Yeah, the Victron battery monitor, I've got an install video on that I'm still kind of trying to work on. Okay, so a little bit more close-up view of the command center here. We've got these slider doors. We've got the Mike Z coin lock. Keep the drawers from flying out when you go around corners. Use my backsplash. It hasn't been mounted in yet, but that's where the Victron monitor is going to go, the battery monitor. Oh, my curtains here, I didn't even mention. I've redone these now with these tent poles that I've had for a good 15 years or so. The tent's long gone, but I kept these poles just in case, and they ended up being the perfect size. I'll go outside and set the tripod up so I can show you my folding table there. That's just these folding brackets off Amazon, and then another one of the doors from the cabinet. Just to have somewhere to stand outside of the van to stand and prep stuff. Say you're cooking, you know, you don't want to always be sitting on a bumper doing it on your lap and stuff like that. Say you're working on the van, you've got a project you want to do, you can just pop this door open, throw stuff up here. And one thing I realized is if you do a drop down table, it's at a better height probably for a lot of people. I'm a bit taller, so this doesn't affect me too much. It's almost perfect standing desk height. I kind of wanted to use them off of my counter so that I could use the fold-up table inside to extend my counter space, say at the other end. That's why I built this thing so solid out of, you know, 2x4s framed like a house basically. It's because I had big plans for this. I thought I'll make it super solid like a workbench, and then I'll build off of it. This thing it's not even held down by any screws right now. It's literally just wedged by a piece of wood held in by 2 screws at the top. And it's completely solid. Like, the diesel tank, believe it or not, is now behind here. I can show you the fuel line, so you know I'm not fibbing at least. Right here, see that? So it goes through, I've got it loomed up, and then the tank fits in there with lots of room to spare. I wonder if I can actually sit here and use this table. Look at that. Okay, yeah, you definitely don't want to get stuck between the door though, so if I use my vice grips, where are my vice grips? Oh my goodness, yeah, that's dangerous. Doors are dangerous, careful. Yeah, my vice grips are MIA, but if you vice grip the door check, you probably could sit here. I don't know, it's not the most comfiest, but you get the idea. I've got some old footage. Maybe I'll actually put that in now. Anyone who's waited this long, I'll put in some old footage of my van from 2015, my first van. Alright, this looked like a sweet spot from the road. Yeah, this has been my home for the last 2 weeks. These are my covers for the windows. And I've got a curtain that I hang on hooks from the ceiling. From back when I first went out west, I was staying in friends' driveways and whatnot. But that was a true stealth van, and you'll kind of get an idea of where my build ideas or my build setup came from. In the video I had the couch on this side, and I much prefer that because of the dual sliding doors. I could choose, and it was way better to have the couch on the other side. Traveling Troy, another great Astro van YouTuber, he just put up a video. He went to Truck Cap Life, and he's talking about how it's way better to have the bed on this side just due to the curves, so then you're not getting flung out of bed. And he's so right about that. He's so right. That's what kicked me into gear to make this video, because I was just like, man, that's the kind of tips people need. I've never heard anyone talk about that before, but just the way, if I'm not explaining it right, the road slopes like this due to the road crown for drainage so that water doesn't pool on the road. So when you park in the gutter, you pull off to the side of the road, you're on an angle like this right off the hop. So if your bed can be on this side, at least you're against a wall and not getting flung out of the bed like I am on this side. Right now, the van's almost tilted a bit this way. This would be ideal for sleeping. I do appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. See you next time. You could sit on this, obviously. I could probably butcher like a 400-pound moose on this thing. Let's see someone else do that to their van build table. Oh. Okay, that was inappropriate. Might edit that out. My magnet's just sticking to my chain.